Most interesting thing in tech, a new paper from Google DeepMind that might change the way you think about AGI, artificial general intelligence. I generally don't like that concept, and I really don't like the idea that there's some line that one model might cross, at which point it suddenly is able to do everything that humans can do. I think it's a misconception and a problematic one at that. Regardless, no matter what you think of that line, there probably will be a moment where AI crosses into a new level of intelligence. And the mental model that most people have is that it'll be one model that kind of gets there. And that, in fact, is what drives Silicon Valley. This notion that OpenAI needs to make sure it stays ahead of DeepSeek, it stays ahead of Gemini, and Gemini stays ahead of the others. But what if superintelligence, whatever the next level is, doesn't come from a single model? It comes from a collection of agents. This is the great insight of this new paper. Singular models are wonderful, but they have all kinds of flaws and weaknesses, and they can get strong at one thing in a way that makes them weak at another. But what if you created, or what if a network kind of happened to create a patchwork of agents that combined were able to get to this level of intelligence? That's what the DeepMind paper hypothesizes. It says you could have one agent who's really good at A, another agent who's really good at B, another who's really good at C. They could pool resources and improve, and suddenly you've changed the game. Now, this does a number of things. Number one, it might want to change everybody who's investing in OpenAI or putting money into one of these companies on the assumption that whoever gets to AGI first will be worth trillions and trillions of dollars. So it could change the fundamental economic model driving AI. It might also, and this is where the focus of the paper is, change your perception of safety. Because what you're really concerned is an out-of-control superintelligence controlled by one company. That's one problem. You have to figure out what the right system cards are, what the right level of transparency for that company is, how do you regulate that company. California, for example, took a big crack at trying to figure out exactly the game theory of how that might work. But what the paper proposes is, well, wait, no. It might not be one company. It might be systems you need to structure on all of these different agents. You're going to need certain transparency. You're going to need sandboxes. You're going to need transaction taxes on agents. It proposes about 15 different levels of regulation, control, and systems to try to prevent this from getting out of control. But really, the fundamental insight of the paper is that the most important thing in AI might not be what each company is doing, but how different agents act together, particularly as they become more interoperable. All right, that's the most interesting thing in tech. See you tomorrow.